Heidi, I think you're going to have to do most of the talking on today's show.
No voice.
I have a lot of voice.
Well, it won't be hard for me to talk.
Can you do that? Can you do that for us?
I can.
And I don't think you can shut me up, so I'm still going to do a lot of talking today, but...
Drink your hot lemonade.
Okay, all right.
On today's show, Gifts from the Heart, I have a really cool technique. We haven't showed it for a long time, but Mama Aline has just asked me over and over again when she wants a gift. It's like, can you please make me some of the watercolor cards so I can give them out? Can you please make me some watercolor cards? She's constantly asking me to do this technique. It's one of her favorites, but I think we say that all the time, but it is one of her favorites. Take a look. For this project, I'm using the tulip beads in a bottle, or you can also use the tulip, the metallics, or the slick. I like the nozzle on the tulips beads in a bottle. It's just a short, just kind of short and fat. I can get the tape. I'm going to put a tape nozzle on it, and this particular nozzle is kind of thin. If you want to use this one, it works perfectly. It just gives you a bigger line. So I cut my tape so it's about a quarter inch wide, and I'm going to put this nozzle right over this other nozzle. Like so. And I'm using a tag that you get at the stationery store to cut out, it's using as a pattern to cut out some watercolor paper. You do need watercolor paper for this project. And then I just lightly trace on my lines with a pencil. I'm just putting just some light lines, and I'll show you why I do it so light in just a second. I'm going to put a heart in the middle. Again, don't trace all around it, just give some guidelines. Okay, one of the things when you're tracing, it's really hard with any kind of paint or even a pen to do a straight line. So I find it's just easy to just do a wiggly line. So test your paint first before it goes on to your watercolor paper. And just see how you just do a wiggly line? And that way you don't have to worry about it being absolutely straight. And that's why I just had to do just some little points instead of tracing on the whole thing, and then you can cover up the actual pencil marks. And do the same thing on your design in the center, just wiggle lines. And then repeat on the bottom. Now let that dry, and the nice thing too, when you have the little lines, it doesn't take very long for it to dry. Now to color in this into watercolor, don't be afraid. It's so easy, and we're just using acrylic paints. So just put a few little acrylic paint colors, just some small puddles. And you need some clear water. I use a cup and just some narrower brushes. With watercolor, one of the rules that you always do is you always put down some clear water where you're going to paint first. So I'm going to put all clear water on the background behind the heart. I never could believe that it was so easy to do watercolor, and I took a class and it's like, wow. All you do is just put the water down on the background and then lay your color in. Now I'm going to put some color in the background, so I'm going to put a little water out and put a little bit of my color into it. And remember, start light, because you can always go back and put more in. And because that plain water is on the background, it just does the watercolor. So just go around everywhere that you want it. And while the water is still wet on the background, you can always add a little bit more color. Maybe I want to shadow a little bit more down here. And if you have too much, you don't like it, then put some more clear water into it. Now, as you go along, if your water isn't clear when you're going to do another area, then just make sure you get a little bit more clear water. You always want to put clear water on the background, because if I had purple, a lot of purple in there, then I'd have a purple tint to my water. And we're going to put some pink in. Again, add a little water to it. And you can see the paint, the reason that we put the paint on is the paint contains the paint, beads in the bottle paint contains the watercolor, so it doesn't go over it. And just make sure you go along the edges. You can see a couple areas that didn't get done. And maybe I want to add a little bit more over here. And then I would just go down to the next one. Super, super simple. So let's take a look at the finished piece again, and you can see the tag that I made. Now you can do this with any tag, any pattern. You could do it with cards. You could put these tags on scrapbook paper. It's a cool technique that I'm sure you're going to use lots of times.
Is this not the prettiest package? I love it.
Fun? You know, when I went to go wrap this too, I was trying all kinds of different things, and I thought, well, I'll just do the traditional of wrapping it with a really pretty bow. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. We don't have to be for Christmas so traditional. I love the looks of this. Plus, it gives the recipient even some yarn to use, because I love all my yarns. It's just like fabric and the textures and everything. But so do something fun. Also, I did spray some of the tulip, the dye spray, the paint spray, onto the tissue paper to give because it was so bright, and so I just sprayed it with the.
That's the tulip fabric spray paint.
Right. She's looking on the shelf.
So, I am. Let me look back at the proper name for it. So, of course, you made a tag for a gift box, but there's so many different applications for this technique.
Right. Like I was saying, that Mom always asks for me to give her cards that are already done. So I have started a few. I started my heart, and I've got some other ready to watercolor to give to Mom. Shh, don't tell her. As a gift from the heart.
So you sit down and you just outline a bunch of these cards in advance, and then
I just take them all in watercolor, because as you saw, it's just so easy to watercolor with acrylic paints. Once you know that really simple technique, it's all about putting that plain water on.
See, that's a great idea, to take those handcraft greeting cards, put them into a little box, or just tie up 6 or 12 of them and give that as a gift. Then she can sign them and give them.
She can send them out all year. Yeah. I'm gonna do a few more, like flowers and things, kind of seasonal, because she could send them out different ones during the year, and maybe give her 12 for the year, and that'll be lots of fun too. She's gonna be so surprised.
I know.
She has been asking me forever for these.
See, that really is a gift from the heart. That really encompasses the theme of today's show.